Okay, so welcome everyone. We are on the date May the 4th today into Home to the Heart Book Club. Let's do this. Okay, good. There we go. And if you do have a question, don't hesitate to raise your hand or just speak up. I still can't see you. I guess this is now the new way with this um, whatever's happened to my computer and the keynote slideshow. So, anyways, we're here. We're in the sacral chakra, the tummy, and we're pages 174 to 178 and we're going to be focusing on fortitude with Jesus again. Okay. So yeah, and if you want to listen to the audio, it's right through that golden circle there. Everything's on the homepage here, voiceoffreedom.ca. And we'll welcome everyone. The room is full. All our galactic friends above and below, and the Divine Mother, and the mighty archangels, and Sanat Kumara, the ascended masters, enlightened beings, beloved saints, our guides and guardians, and to Gaia. So thank you for all of you holding us along this journey. And let's ask the mighty ones to surround our space. So Archangel Michael along the door wall with his magnificent blue, and to stand in the corner, and then Raphael along the next wall with his emerald green, and Uriel with his silver of truth along the third wall, and Archangel Yophael with his magenta amethyst, and to stand in the corners. And with the golden energy in the middle, this is our golden ascension spiral of joy. We really want to focus on that joy in the center of our being, that gratitude for everything, being able to bless everything. And Sanat Kumara is here too with his scales of balance and the universal laws. Okay. And of course, if you feel like putting on the blue cloak, that's always a good idea. See it surround you. It brings in a lot of clarity. It's our freedom, our truth, and our power is what the Divine Mother says. And this is just to remind you that the colors are from lightest to darkest. They all are, and they're very healing. Every color is vibration and frequency. And just to breathe, that's another thing. If you're feeling the old energy, just breathe in a color, and that will help center you, bring it down to the heart. And I had a situation on the weekend where there was old spiraling energy, and I just sat with it, and it disappeared very rapidly. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't try to do anything. I didn't try to love myself, nothing. I just sat with it, and it just disappeared. So, but I believe I did beforehand, I did breathe color. So, because it's so automatic for me, and I just dropped into my heart space, and the old energy just disappeared. It was wonderful. So we're at a whole new level now. The energy on the planet is really conducive to us letting go of these old systems and really not doing much about them, just sitting with them. Okay, you can always call in the mighty ones. They are there in a flash. Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, they like it when we're aware of what we're feeling, because if you can name it, often that awareness will set you free from it. So not that it's ping-ponging back and forth and you're in a distressed state. If you can still yourself in the middle of your being, the mind will quiet down. It's automatic. It just happens now. So Jesus says you have to realize that consciousness is something very powerful. It truly is. It is much more than a passive registering of an emotion. Consciousness is an intense creative force, not something static. Things do not remain as they are. So if you're in an old, unloving state, just let it be. It will change. It will disappear. You will notice that if you do not nourish the energy of the emotion or of your judgment about it, they will gradually dissipate. Awareness transforms. It is the major instrument for change, yet at the same time, it wants to change nothing. So that was my experience. I wasn't trying to change anything, but my awareness of it and it just dissipated. Awareness says yes, yes to what is. It is receptive and accepting of all that is there. And this changes everything because it sets you free. So Sanat Kumara says, ask to be anchored in our conscious waking awareness. And then when you're in that, there's none of the old unloving thoughts and feelings. It's a state of joy, just being able to be very grateful for everything. I did a reading on the weekend, and the last two cards were humility, which remember that's being grateful for the many blessings bestowed upon each and all. And the next card was sorrow. And this girl, young girl, very, very grateful in her being, and had she had learned to be this, she was literally embodying gratitude for her pain, for her sorrow. And it was such a beautiful thing to witness. So it's a humility to grace, like it's the reds to the pinks. Pink, like grace is very light pink. So that's a very light form of red. If you really lighten up red, it turns into pink. And grace is just being in that loving action and her loving action, her humility was gratitude for her sorrow. It was such a neat way to see it in the cards. And then Jesus reminds us to love our neighbor as ourselves. So he said the core of that statement is to love yourself. And he says, you may say, I love the mother, but he says, but how do you know the mother? And he says, you know the mother because you know yourself, you know the pattern of who you are, and the pattern is always love. And he says, you may not cognitively, emotionally, mentally fully comprehend what I'm saying, although that is coming by leaps and bounds. That is the extraordinary change. But you know it because your soul, your higher self, your heart knows it. You know that you are love. So, and the biggest self is this big field around you that's like an angel. It's very good at blessing everything.
Kathleen,
Yes.
I was wondering, did that lady or that young girl, when she was grateful for her pain or whatever, did it disappear?
Yes. She was in a state of joy, like constant joy. She said, I've never been so joyful in all my life.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it was really, and she was, when you're in that state, the tears just automatically come. Like she was, well, I mean, maybe I can explain this better. On the weekend when we did our sound bath, we had a man come. And it's quite rare that men come. So he came all by himself. We'd never seen him before. His name was David. And he just lay on his yoga mat. He didn't even bring a yoga mat. We had an extra. So there he was. And he said that through the whole sound bath, he was weeping tears, like just weeping. He was in such a state of joy. And I actually didn't notice. I was running around doing all kinds of things. I wish I'd seen it. But he that's what he said. He came right up to me afterwards and he thanked both of us and he was just like I was weeping the whole way through that the sound was made him feel so ecstatic. And that's what I witnessed with this young girl in the reading as well. She was just weeping tears of joy for the state of being that she's in. So it's a good sign when the other side they will bring it up inside of us. I've been having this for a little while now, and so if they're you just get this feeling, it's overwhelming joy, and they bring tears. It's not like you're crying or in any kind of sorrow. It's tears of joy, basically. It's a really interesting state. And Jesus says, if you look to the law of attraction and repulsion, you attract love, you seek love, you naturally repulse that which is not of love. So it begins with the love of this beautiful, remarkable, holy, sacred self, not just your spirit, but your physicality. So your toes, your fingers, your hair, your face, your tummy. It starts with knowing and loving how you behave, what you say, what you do. And from there, you can love your neighbor, which is every single being on Gaia. And that's the oneness that we're all headed into. And he says it's cyclical, it is the flow of the infinity. because as you love others, as you embrace the collective, that love grows, the sharing of that love grows, the experience of that love grows, and you automatically receive it back. So remember, as you give, you must receive. It is the balance of the give and the take, the above and below. And in that, you know, the love of source, of mother, of father, one. It is a trinity and it cannot exclude any element. This is the pattern of the universe, the source, you, the collective. So trinity, it's a very powerful number because it's often the mother, the father, the one, or the mother, the father, the child, or this is a new one that I hadn't heard before, source, self, collective, all equal. And so that's that trinity. So there's mother, father, one. Often one is the child, so us as the child. Yeah, the trinity cannot exclude any element. And he says, ascension is the fullness of our hearts, the rebirth of love. So this is just remembering it. Everyone is love, and it's just falling, surrendering into it, remembering, rebirth of love from self. So love the self, and then it naturally extends out to others, the anchoring of love on earth. And it's interesting that I'm really talking about love for the sacral chakra, but with Jesus, that's why he was here. He was embodying love. He was being the example of love. He was sharing it. He was demonstrating how magical it is. And so another thing, and when you're in that state of joy, it's very easy to laugh about the old systems. Because some of them we get really tied up in knots and we try to control situations. But the best thing is to really detach, step back, and we can call Michael and his sword to cut all those ties that bind us up. Sanat Kumara and the law of intent, that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now. That's a really good one to remember if we're getting mad about something. Just step back. If you can laugh, you're already there. So it's again finding that joy that's naturally within and being grateful, and all the old dissolves. And it's just there's just layers to it. That's all it is. It keeps coming back. If you can sit with it, maybe not even do anything with it right now, just let it be, and it will dissolve. Okay, so let's drop down into our heart space. It does dissolve much easier if you're in your heart. I have to say that. So if there is old energy coming up, if you can just stop and breathe the color and drop down into your heart and just sit with it. Don't do anything with it. Just sit, be still. It will, from what I'm noticing now, it just completely dissolves. So let's do our breathing. Breathe whatever color comes to you. Hold it a moment in both hemispheres of the brain, and on the out breath, just drop down into your heart chakra, into that emerald green, and sense our tri-flame, a beautiful hug from the Divine Mother, from the Divine Father, the golden energy, and really right to the pink of the self. There's that grace, the red and the pinks of the self. And sense that divine spark that's in the middle, and really, really just feel that energy. That is a great practice, contemplating this tri-flame every day. There's so much information embedded within this tri-flame. And just feel it expand. And if you feel like it, you can fly like on your own, just fly through into your golden temple. That's a really powerful thing to do. But today, let's just braid the energy of the flames and see it go straight to source. That connection with the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, the oneness, and then braid it and drop down to Gaia. Really connect with Gaia, with the center of the planet, and just feel that divine alignment with Source, with Gaia, with yourself. And when you're in that divine alignment, you're in the middle of your being. And it's really It's very joyful. Okay, so let's continue on. To stay in your heart. And we're going to do a little bit of the fortitude meditation. Just wrap your arms around yourself, give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for having the fortitude, the stamina, the patience to be here at this time of incredible change, all connected and united. Hug yourself and hug yourself again on behalf of the Council of Love, and know how deeply you are cared about and appreciated. The color of fortitude is orange. It's one of the more solid colors. So take a few deep breaths of this orange. Feel its brightness, its clarity. Breathe in the scent of freshly squeezed orange juice. Bring it in through your nose and bring it all the way down to your sacral, to your spleen, to your stomach. Place your hand on your tummy. Feel that orange and that chakra opening and spinning. This is a chakra that is connected to your creativity, to our ability to create in our own lives and on Nova Earth. Breathe in the marigolds, the orange peel, the peach, the cantaloupe, the fireweed flowers, the orange tanager. Breathe the orange and taste it and feel yourself relaxing and welcoming in this wonderful quality of fortitude. And as you open that chakra, feel it align and activate all your other chakras and simply be. So it's really sensing into the power of your tummy. And just really feel that balance of your self-love and your self-worth. And open your eyes and just know we are working on our value, our self-worth, and our self-love. And especially in this place, we're embodying love with courage. And the law here is all about balance, understanding as within, so without, as above, so below. And
Kathleen.
yes,
Um, yeah, I don't know when or why. I started eating oranges recently.
very good. I like that. Good. Yeah, they're so delicious. So you're um remembering your courage, your fortitude. I love that. So when you're eating them, really sense into that courage it's taken to be here. Yeah, they're and all the fruits and vegetables carry different energy. So that's beautiful. I love that. Thanks, Ken. So this is the third dimension. We're integrating all our aspects. So this is the different lifetimes that we've been many reincarnations upon the planet, different forms, different beings, and they're really integrating into this form for this ascension, for us to embody love at this time. And we'll learn a little bit more about that when we study the law of balance. Okay, and then underneath this sacral chakra is the pubic and the root. They're always about balance, 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 being grateful, this golden energy. So fortitude, and according to the Council of Love, this is the definition, is courage in all forms, endurance, the ability to keep going forward when others cease and give up, the virtue of pathfinders, strength of purpose, stamina in all senses. Know that patience is a part of fortitude. Fortitude is the encompassing of forbearance, and forbearance is indeed a quality that requires patience. So that's our tolerance and our restraint. And to continue going forward with stamina when you really feel like pushing the individual off the cliff, it will be required in working with 1212. So 1212 is understanding that we're in a unified field now ever since December the 12th, 2012. And the vibration is orange. So there we are, strength of purpose, stamina in all senses. So the root chakra, we sensed into our sacred purpose. Sacred purpose is always what you're most excited about. So, and it varies for everyone. The purpose is very unique for each of us. And we're here having the fortitude to embody love. Okay, so Marion just came in, and let's see. Here, I think I can go here. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, so this is um imagining, this is the balancing in the sacral chakra. So we're going right back to childhood and seeing the divinity of mom and dad in your heart space. And it's a practice. Just if you can start slowly, just really remembering um, what mom or imagining what mom and dad looked like when they were that what as their angel selves. It really helps with everything here when you're feeling that gratitude for, we've all suffered from trauma, usually from our family situations. So really just seeing the divinity of everyone, it brings you right into the oneness that's in the heart space. And it helps with navigating the energy on the planet. So you're holding that divinity. The word namaste is I see the divinity in you. So you're embodying that, remembering your own divinity and then all family members. It's quite extraordinary when you start doing that. It really changes up the feelings that we have. So we're all resentment and anger and everything. It just dissolves because how can you hold that when you're really anchoring in the divinity of mom, early caregivers, dad, early caregivers, whatever they were, family members. It does make a huge difference. Early childhood caregivers and siblings in their angelic form in the heart space. Okay, so another being that's really on our side is Gaia, the planet. Gaia can help us enormously. She's like a grandmother, radiant with light, an ancient wise being in the center of the planet, an archangel. She took on the form of a planet in order to serve the Divine Mother. She has been in this service for a long, 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 long time and loves it when we visit her and the elders around the council fire. So when you drop down your red root core down to the center of the planet, you go through a portal. She's there. The council fire is there, surrounded by star beings and elders. You can sit at the fire there. This is all in imagination, but it feels very real when you're doing this. And you can also, if you're feeling lonely or sad or any of the old belief systems, just drop down that red root cord and visit Gaia. You can put your head in her lap. She's a mighty transmuter and will comfort you to no end. It's every day it's good to connect with her and ask for help, letting go of the old. This brings us into our divine alignment, who we truly are. So, Sanat Kumara recommended that we drop the cord every day and go visit her, like just even before you get out of bed. And it brings you into this divine alignment. You could even be in your heart space and braid your tri-flame down to her and be with her, and then braid it and go up to source. It really can change your day because you're starting off in that divine alignment. This is what Jesus has said what to do with fear. And he says the key is to embrace your fear. And you say, no, no, Lord, I want to eradicate my fear. And what he says to thee, to us, is that as you embrace the fear, it transmutes and transforms into the courage, the valor. Part of fortitude is stepping forward and holding the course of being your strength and purpose, even when you are frightened. He says, when I was arrested, and yes, there was much talk of my arrest, my persecution, the sacrifice on the cross, but let me tell you, I was arrested many times. When I was arrested, I would be fearful. I was not fearful so much of the physical harm that could befall me at the hands of these persecutors, who did not want me to speak the truth. What I was afraid of was two things: the impact on my family and my extended family, my followers, my friends, because I did not have one follower that was not dear to my heart. And the second overriding fear would be that I would be silenced, that I would not be strong enough, that I would be intimidated, and that I would not speak the truth or continue on. These were real fears. It is not that I never experienced fear or prayed for courage and bravery to do what I knew, not only what I had promised, but what was right. What fortitude helps you do, as I anchor it within each of your hearts this day, it allows you to step forward in spite of. The very act of stepping forward, not in grandiose ways, because you do not want to make your opponent feel that they need to defeat you. You said, I learned that. But step forward in ways that eradicates, it dissolves your fear because you embrace it. You say, yes, I am afraid, and I'm doing it anyway. And as soon as you do, Archangel Michael is with you. I am with you, so Jesus is with us, and Archangel Jophiel has your back. And I can say for sure this is what happens when you're really afraid to do something, then you step right into the fear and you do it. You're so surrounded with help. Begin in small ways to challenge your comfort zone, but do not leave you exposed and feeling overly vulnerable. So perhaps it is expressing your truth to a friend, to a colleague. And might I say this, do not take yourself too seriously. When we have challenged the status quo, often we use the tool of humor. I use stories, often parables, because it entertained. Everyone got the message, but it did not make people feel overly defensive. You always want to give the person you're speaking to, the situation that you are shifting, room to maneuver, so they do not feel that their back is against the wall. That is kindness, that is consideration, and that is fortitude. It is fortitude married to prudence, knowing the balance, the exact measure of what to do. You all are children and angels of the omniverse, and this is the time to let the expansion happen, not merely for the sense of adventure, but in doing so, in extending and traveling so far when you come back. It is not with a diminished self, with a smaller sense of who you are, but a much grander, expanded sense of who you are and your place within the universe and what you are capable of within that universe. You're also receiving and coming to know that the entire universe, not simply a handful of masters, but the entire universe supports you. So sometimes we don't feel very supported because there's financial issues. And he says, all of you, and it is particularly trying for many of you with financial issues during the transition. And yes, this is a test of fortitude, but it is also the opportunity to surrender. Surrender. We are in sacred partnership, but there are times when we will surrender to your will, support you, yes, but they're saying surrender. They're really asking us to surrender. So even if it's me, remember when SK talked about surrender, he said it's just lying still and allowing, really. Even if you're, if things are really causing distress, anything, if you can, just sit still or lie down on your bed and just surrender and let the higher realms to help you. There are times when it is equally important for you to surrender and allow us to work the miracles. When you are in the way, when you're constantly reclaiming whatever issue or whatever actions you think, and I use the word think in the mental ego capacity, then you're interfering with the flow, with the healing. So it does not mean not taking appropriate action, but there are moments, and there are many of them right now, when surrender is the action and the key. So to let the worry go. So just like really relax, because in the relaxation, is the letting go. It happens in the sound baths when we do that all the time. The people are so relaxed. They cough, they cry, they often some people laugh. Like it's very spontaneous because they're in such a relaxed state. So that's what we're doing when we're surrendering. Oh, Jesus has something he wants to share, a modern day parable. Okay, so he says, I will share a very modern parable, and it is the story of a young man in your time who had incredible dreams of hope, of faith, an ally, not only of mine, but of Saint Germain's, who had a vision for this country called the United States of America. Really, it's for North America. And this young lion tamer did not grow up in favored circumstances. No, not in dire poverty at all, but certainly in situations that were less than favorable. Most of us have dropped into family situations that are quite difficult. And we did plan that because we wanted to do the transformation of the old energy. And it's really hard to do it unless you experience it. But what happened to this one? He held the dream and he held the reality that his mission and purpose was more important than any, and that he could make a difference in bringing the light and the love to the planet. And he endured and he practiced fortitude, and he did so in my name, and he is victorious in my name. It may not appear victorious because there are times of conflict, of need, of disagreement, but he says, each of you are that man. Each of you is the lion tamer. Each of you are stepping into the arena of Nova Earth and doing your best to create what you know is based on truth and love and hope. You are the heroes of the parables. You are the embodiment of that fortitude. You are that being that says, I will not give up. And no matter how many naysayers there are, how many falsehoods are perpetrated, how many backroom machinations take place, I will bring forth the new world. So this is the modern parable, and it is no different. Each of you has the ability to create and to change the planet, not just the dimension. That is
Mhm.
almost incidental. Your ascension is the fullness of your heart. Your ascension is the anchoring of love on earth. That is what the shift is. And that is why fortitude is so necessary, because to allow things to continue in the old way is easy, but to change the world requires valor, stamina, and determination. And you have this, my brothers and sisters, you have always had this. And he ends this with saying, go with my love and go with fortitude. So he's really anchoring it into us to keep going no matter what. That this is why we came to really be, to really, it's really like taming the self. Is the lion the self? And we're taming the old energy, the old unloving energy. Strength of purpose, stamina in all senses, the fortitude to embody love. Yes. Okay. And then the blessing of virtue of fortitude. He says, I could see the pain and the suffering of people and my people because they had forgotten about love, and many of them had fallen into the belief system of a thundering, painful, punishing God. So here I was with a new message, trying to heal the hearts, and then to spread that message all over the world when many did not think I should speak outside my faith. But the faith was in one, and it is available to all. So beautiful messages. Okay. And then really anchoring in that everyone in their divinity, in the oneness, inside, as within, so without. So we start within, really reimagining, letting go all the old resentments and anger and fear, and just really seeing everyone in their divinity, especially family. Family is the family's the one to do it with. And it doesn't have to be communication in physicality, just feeling it and imagining it within ourselves. And then that energy, it can go so far and so wide, so fast. And it helps with everything when we're holding that oneness for family inside of us. No old angers and fears and pains and sorrows. Just really, really grateful for everything. Yeah. Okay. So does anyone have anything that they wanted to comment on or um any questions about any of these, any of the slides?
Well, I would like to talk to Marion for a minute because I was told that your doctor is giving you bad advice. You need to get what approval from him. It's usually a script for um, sweetie, um, for physical therapy. You need to get a because I think that he's giving you bad advice by telling you just to do nothing. So if you ask him for a prescription for physical therapy, I think that would help you and would get around some of these problems that you're having.
Well, that's interesting. That's a possibility. I had physical therapy after my knee surgery, and I know the physical therapist. I actually walked the park today. I went to my chiropractor, and he said, "I don't see why there isn't any reason you can't walk." So I did. I walked the park, and I thought, I'm taking a new attitude. I'm doing the things I need to. I still have a brace on my knee, but I'm just going ahead like, I have the brace on my knee. I can do what I want to do. So um, that's my new thought on it. I certainly can go to physical therapy. I don't I don't know what they can do for it because it is a fluid fill sac. But that's a good thought, and I appreciate your saying it.
Well, when I had tore the tendons in my knee, and what I did was I did do my own physical therapy, but I've had physical therapy on different parts of my body,
Oh, I
and
have too. Yeah.
the fluid will drain once you start using those muscles again.
And that's what I'm hoping. So I thought, well, and I do swim. So I have always been swimming. And but I think walking the park, I just need that for my mental happiness. I love people, I love dogs, and I don't have people around me right now, and I don't have dogs around me right now. So being able to go to the park is a good outlet for that. And obviously you're walking, and that, is moving that leg. So um but I will definitely keep what you have in mind, and I so appreciate your saying and thinking about me. That's so thoughtful of you.
That was
I'm
beautiful. Thank
grateful.
you. And
Mhm.
it's interesting that it's fluid because that is the energy of the Divine Mother. So you're saying,
Oh,
yes, exactly. She is the water energy. So loving Jesus at the beginning said we are the pattern of the mother. So, and it's loving the mother, loving the self. So it's being even deeper love for the self, basically, can be very healing. That is the healing, basically. hmm So interesting.
well,
Interesting
thank you. Yeah,
how it
good.
all intricate.
All suggestions are appreciated and welcomed.
Okay, good. Thank you, Marion. Okay. All right. So looks like we're right. Yeah, we're right on time tonight. Okay, so let's
What, may
yep.
I interrupt? I went to see, now I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, the the beginning of everything. Has anyone ever seen that?
No, I haven't.
It's by Fathom. It talks about our bodies. It talks about the earth and all and the end result. And they do not mention God, source, a supreme being, but the whole movie is to show that this is a planned universe, and they had many different scientists on. Some of it was incorrect from what I understand, particularly our DNA. They didn't go into the 12 strands, they only went into two. But it's an interesting movie, but I was hoping it would be more spiritual than it was. So if you happen to see it, keep that in mind when you see it, that it's fantastic photography, but not as spiritual as I would have liked.
Okay, good. Thank you for that recommendation. And yes, actually, the 13th strand of DNA has been activated.
Hmm. Do
Hence
you
the,
think so?
what's that?
Do you think our 12 strands, what do you think it will take to activate all of
They
them?
are. They already are. It's just us remembering and believing and knowing. They are
Oh,
active.
okay. Believing that they are.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, the 13th has been activated. And when we
Cool.
get to the Halion chakra, it's in the dimensional information in the sixth dimension from Albert
Hmm.
Einstein. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really exciting times. We just in the law of change, which is coming up after the law of balance, the mother goes into detail about really believing that we can change. We are the embodiment of change, and we're here to like regenerate, basically. So, and be able to live hundreds of years. That death is a human creation, that we get old and we get sick and we die. But that's once the belief systems are eliminated, then we don't. We live for hundreds and hundreds of years.
I kept telling my husband, you are not supposed to die. That's not part of the plan. You're supposed to. Unfortunately, he did. But I have believed that. I'm sure most of you all believe it too, that um, when I always think when someone has like a celebration of life, that that should be when you're there, not when you are deceased. It should be you have your own celebration of life and then you move on to your next stage. And
Mhm.
I, anybody else feel like that? Am I the only one?
No, 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 no. Yeah, I mean, it's funny how when we come here, we celebrate the baby, and really the baby's coming into a wild environment.
Right.
But I hear there's a great celebration when we pass over. Like you're just surrounded with beings that you've known forever, and it's so, so, so loving. No matter who you are, no matter
That would be so
what we,
neat.
yeah, whatever we've engaged with, everybody is loved. Oh yeah, so we're getting to that here slowly.
I
Yeah.
believe what you said, Marion. I agree with you.
Do you?
Yes.
I just do. To me, you should be there at your own party. And so, in fact, I'm going to mention it to my daughter this weekend. Should something happen to me at some point in time, hopefully, you know, we are, it's not going to happen to us. But should something happen, that please do not have a celebration of life service for me because I'm not there. And I just think somehow it's a
Oh, okay.
misnomer.
So the soul, so in the next book, Saint Francis, this next book that's almost ready to come out, Saint Francis in the heart chakra, he talks a lot about death. So I can send you that information. He actually said that the soul is there watching over very often at the celebration of life to make sure everyone's okay.
Oh,
And
is that right?
yeah, and then the soul transitions to the next level. Yeah, yeah, they stay to make sure everyone's okay. And if there's been a really violent death, the soul is pulled out by our guides. Animals don't experience the violence of death. Their souls are pulled out. And it's the same with humans. The soul can be pulled out unless it is the choice of the higher self that the soul wants to experience pain. But if it's not part of the mission, then it's just pulled out right away. There's no pain felt.
Huh.
And St. Francis goes into that in quite a lot of detail. I did a reading on the weekend, and a former husband of this young girl that came in, he had overdosed, and it had happened a week and a half ago, and they'd already had the celebration of life. And I couldn't feel him at all. Generally, when someone's passed over, I can feel the energy, depending on how fresh it is. But he was in the journey after the celebration of life, it's a little bit of a journey to get to the next level. And so I couldn't sense him. He wasn't able to come back and say hi at that point. But eventually he will, and he'll be able to communicate with this girl. But I couldn't sense him at all. It was really, really interesting.
Wow. How long do you think it usually takes someone to get through that first journey?
Depends on the being. Uh, Um, it's hard to gauge it in human human time. I if like a few days human time up to a week, but it's see on the other side it's no time. So it's a really it just depends on the
Okay.
individual. But it's not that long, but it is a time frame in our terms. Mm, yeah.
So, Miriam,
Yes.
if you what I'm hearing is you don't agree with the celebration of life. Should there be any sort of event?
Oh, absolutely. And this is just my thinking. I certainly wouldn't suggest if I have a friend and her husband or wife is deceased, I wouldn't say that to them at all. This is just my feeling. Absolutely. But I don't think it has to be, I don't think it has to be spiritual. It doesn't have to be in a church. It can be in the house, and you just have pictures. It could be in the church, but I think calling it a celebration of life for me is sort of like, but I'm not there. How can you really know what I want and know that that would be a celebration for me? I mean, unless you map it all out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I,
My
I
mother's
know,
doing that. My mother was.
and there are people that do that,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People that know, like I know somebody that had ALS, and so he was able to exercise his right for MAID, and he did have a celebration of life. He had all the details in place so that he had exactly what he wanted on the day that he chose to.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So it really is an individual thing and something that requires some thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My
So I did.
my own father said he didn't want one. He just didn't want one. So we didn't do one. But my mother's completely different.
I, I think that it's really nice to have the freedom now to make choices about how you are going to, I say, celebrate that person's life or recognize that person. We had moved so many times that, and my husband had been large part of Atlanta. So by the time we are now here in North Carolina, he didn't have friends and he was 89, and so I kept changing things that I would do for him. And I think it's good to be able to have that freedom to, whether it's a celebration of life, whether it's a picnic outside, whether it's something in the church, but you now have the freedom, I think, to make those decisions and not feel guilty if you don't have the standard church service or the standard celebration of life service.
Absolutely.
Correct. I believe in that 200% that like I don't want anything. I don't see the point of it, the expense and sending
Mhm.
flowers and all of that, but I respect people's choices to do what is right for them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah, it's very individual. That's good. That's a good discussion. Um, and Marion, I can send you that information if you want me to.
Yes, I'd love it. Thank you.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, so let's do our sending. And first, I just want to say thank you to Jesus. That was amazing, all that information. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, now we've finished Fortitude. So we'll be on to the law with Sanat Kumara next. Or I might do a little bit of a review. It was just so much information that I think I'll do a bit of a review of Fortitude next week, and then the following week we'll get into the law. But yeah, let's jump into our little meditation. So just let's anchor in our hearts and send energy wherever you feel it's needed. Just allow it to come right through us from the higher realms, and just feel it move through you out to our global community and our families. Okay, so I'll set the timer. Here we go. See everybody in 10 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. That is 10 minutes. Goes by so fast.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay. Any other? Yes.
Everybody.
Are you saying good night? Are you guys ready for bed?
Night.
I,
Well,
yeah,
I
yes, I
am.
am.
I'm going to see the physical therapist this week. That's a good plan. I appreciate your thoughts. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. Good. Okay. Good. Well, we'll be back.
wonderful. I'm glad I caught up with everyone.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, you can drop in even if you're late. Just come. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Okay.
And thank you to everybody. My beloved Brittany entered the rehab center last Wednesday, the 29th.
Fantastic.
So, until she was actually in there, I didn't want to say anything, but she is there. So I will ask for an update on Wednesday. The detox portion of it was 3 to 4 to 7 days, depending on her. And then she has to detox first and then do the next steps. So
Mm.
thank you to everybody for all their healing thoughts.
I was just praying for Brittany, and I was hoping you would say something. I'm glad you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really deeply appreciate it. And I'm just sending her, all the love and strength and courage to do this difficult work.
Beautiful. It's so good they have a detox part to that
Yes,
center.
Kathleen, that's important to be all in one. And I really like the name Cedars because the cedar tree is so powerful and it's on Vancouver Island and that. So here's to new beginnings for her.
Absolutely. It's time.
Yeah.
Good.
Great. Well,
Yeah,
Very-
it's time.
It is time.
well,
Yay, that's so exciting.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
well,
you're welcome.
you're welcome. Yeah.
Mhm.
Peace,
You
one
guys-
and all.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, well, we'll be back again next Monday.
Stefan,
Yes.
I'm not sure. Stefan and I are going to Toronto on the 16th to the 26th. I'm not sure we would like to be able to participate, but we've got a pretty busy schedule while we're there. So, and there's the 3-hour time difference. But if we can, we will, right, Steph?
Yeah, I think I have to check the schedule, hon, but I think we've got it so that we might be able to attend. I'm not sure.
We would like to. We love the online. So,
Okay, yeah, that would be great. And you can give us an update from Toronto.
correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the dogs want.
Yeah, we should say. The dogs are not going.
Yeah.
No, they're staying. They're staying here.
Okay. Well, they'll be included. Like the energy is all very inclusive. So
There you go.
we'll include the dogs in the meditation and beforehand. They'll feel it. They're very intuitive. The animals know.
They were with us this weekend. They were having a field day because there was a lot of food around and they thought they were at the buffet all weekend.
Fun.
So Kathleen, we were Jane and I out on our walk today in the forest and grounding in the river and having conversations around letting go and surrendering and around financial pressures. I'm sure I'm not the only one in this market that's suffering or having some struggles, and it's a lot of people are having difficult times right now, and
Yes.
there's just so much uncertainty, and particularly in my industry where things have really, fallen off, and there's not much happening at all.
Yes.
That's why they're having these events, I guess, with the car salespeople and realtors. Let's get them all together and meditate, and
Yeah.
hope that So I wasn't, I kind of joke about it a little bit, but I think there's some truth to it that that people are quite suffering.
Yes.
And so I appreciated the message today around surrender, and just allowing.
Yes. Yes. So if the old fear is coming up, like I know that if you can just sit with it, it will dissolve, and then the clarity will come in what to do. Like what this fellow was. He's a big, tall, sick man, Sikh. And yeah, the idea just came to him, and he said people told him it's impossible. You can't do this. And he's done two now. And he feels like it's already all done. He's already on to the third, planning the third. He's a force. Yeah, I was really impressed with him.
Excellent.
Yeah, so the clarity will come when we let go the block of fear, basically. So just keep surrendering, keep allowing, keep just being with it, and it does dissolve. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. It's interesting times right now. Yes. Okay. Good. All right.
On
Well,
that note, thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody.
yes.
Well, you too, huh?
Okay. Thank you.
One and all.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Sweet
Well,
dreams, blessings.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Good night.